Bad news, GH fans, Friday's episode isn't slow, it's tense, the kind of hour that quietly shifts alliances before the weekend hits. If you blink, you'll miss the moment someone hands over power without realizing it. Welcome back to ABC GH Spoilers and AMP News. We don't retell every scene, we break down motives, leverage, and what the fallout could be next. Today we're covering General Hospital, January 23, 2026. Sonny manipulates Ava, Jason voices concern for Britt, Jordan brokers an introduction, Joss turns to an unlikely source for help, and Curtis feels relieved. 5 beats, 1 theme, control. Let's start with Sonny and Ava, because manipulation is never casual with Sonny. When he manipulates, he's not trying to win a moment, he's shaping the board so he wins later too. Ava is the worst person to try to control. And that's exactly why she's a perfect target. Pride makes her predictable, and fear makes her movable. Sonny rarely forces people directly. He frames choices, so the other person believes the plan was their idea. So ask yourself, what does Sonny want Ava to do, and what does he want her to believe? In soaps, belief is the real leash. If Ava buys Sonny's framing, she'll defend it fiercely, even if it's bad for her. That's how manipulation turns into cooperation without consent. But Ava doesn't stay a pawn for long. If she senses she's being used, she'll strike back, and she usually picks the moment that hurts most. That's why this storyline is dangerous. It isn't just Sonny versus Ava. It's Sonny betting he can steer her, and Ava betting she can outsmart him mid-game. Now shift to Jason, because his beat sounds softer but hits harder. Jason voicing concern for Britt means he's seeing warning signs he can't ignore anymore. Concern isn't suspicion, and that difference matters. Suspicion hunts for lies, but concern hunts for danger, and danger is what Jason is clocking. Whatever is happening around Britt is starting to look bigger than a personal issue. It looks like pressure, exposure, and consequences moving closer. Jason worrying also suggests Britt may be guarded or distant. Guarded doesn't mean guilty, it often means someone is trying to protect a secret or a person. Here's Britt's trap: if she tells Jason the whole truth, it could escalate the threat fast. If she tells him nothing, she isolates herself and pushes away protection. And Jason doesn't sit still when he feels danger. If he starts acting, the person squeezing Britt may respond by tightening the grip even more. So the emotional conflict becomes simple and brutal: trust versus survival. Britt may choose survival now and pay for it later. That's where Jordan's beat matters, because introductions are power moves. When Jordan brokers an introduction, she's connecting two worlds that weren't supposed to meet yet. This could be a favor, a negotiation, or a strategic test. The person being introduced could become an ally, a liability, or a future witness. Introductions in Port Charles create obligations. Once you're connected, you're on the same map, and people start watching you together. Jordan's timing suggests she's trying to control a narrative before someone else does. In a town like this, whoever controls the introduction often controls the story. Now Joss turning to an unlikely source for help tells us she's out of safe options. That unlikely detail is the show warning you she's about to cross a line. Joss doesn't do that unless she's desperate, cornered, or protecting someone. Either way, she's choosing risk over paralysis. And an unlikely helper rarely helps for free. In soap logic, help is a loan with interest, and the interest is paid in secrets, favors, or silence. That means Joss could end the episode owing someone she doesn't fully trust. And debt is just another form of control. Notice how Joss's beat mirrors Sonny's beat. Manipulation isn't only something villains do, it's a currency everyone spends when they're scared. Now let's talk about Curtis being relieved, because that sounds small but it's a giant warning sign. Relief often appears right before a twist, because it lowers defenses. Curtis may feel like a crisis is easing or a burden is lifting. But in this show, relief is usually the breath before the punch. Also, relief can make people careless. When someone relaxes, that's when the next problem slips in through the open door. So here's the connective tissue of January 23rd. Sonny manipulates, Jason worries, Jordan connects, Joss bargains and Curtis exhales, 5 moves that reshape power. The theme is control versus trust. Everyone wants control, but control always costs relationships. Ava must decide whether she's playing Sonny's game or rewriting it. The moment she chooses, the consequences start rolling. Britt must decide whether silence keeps her safe or isolates her into danger. Either path can break something important. Jason must decide whether to confront the threat directly or outmaneuver it quietly. His choice could protect Britt, or put her in brighter spotlight. Jordan's introduction will likely plant a future alliance. But alliances formed under pressure often crack when the truth shows up. Joss's unlikely source could solve one problem and create 3 more. In Port Charles, shortcuts always leave fingerprints. And Curtis's relief could collide with someone else's panic. When one person celebrates and another person spirals, families fracture fast. Prediction number 1, Sonny's manipulation works at first, but Ava catches the angle and flips the leverage back on him when it hurts most. That reversal may come with collateral damage. Prediction number 2, Jason's concern turns into action, forcing Britt to either share the truth or push him away even harder. Either outcome changes their relationship permanently. Prediction number 3, Jordan's introduction looks professional on the surface, but it's actually a test of loyalty. The wrong reaction will expose who can't be trusted. Prediction number 4, Joss's unlikely helper demands a price, and that price pulls her into a conflict she didn't mean to join. She may regret the deal the moment it's made. Prediction number 5, Curtis's relief is short-lived, and the next crisis hits close to home. The show is setting up a whiplash swing from calm to chaos. If you watched January 23rd, tell me your read. Is Sonny manipulating Ava for protection, or for power? And is Britt staying quiet to survive, or to protect Jason from the blast radius? Don't forget to subscribe to ABC GH Spoilers and AMP News for more GH breakdowns and predictions. Drop your theory in the comments, and I'll feature the sharpest takes in the next update.